Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Perspective. In the fifth part under our Ladakh series, today we will be covering the strategic importance of the Changchenmo sector. In this second and concluding part on the Changchenmo sector, I will be discussing the strategic importance of this sector from both the Indian and the Chinese perspective. We will see how the Changchenmo sector can be used as a firm base by India to launch offensive in the upper reaches of Galwan River Valley and target Chinese positions from rear in the Fingers area and Khurnag Fort. I will also present possible Chinese actions in this sector. And by the end of this episode, it will also become clear why the Chinese chose hot springs as one of the points of intrusion and why they are reluctant to completely disengage in this sector. In my previous video on the Changchenmo sector, I had highlighted the geographical realities of this sector. Let us take a quick look at the challenges which India faces because of these geographical realities. On the map in front of you, you can make out the key landmarks in the Changchenmo sector. The first major issue that we face is that of accessibility. We have only one road which leads to the sector from northern bank of Pangongso Lake. Even this road runs in proximity of the LAC as it crosses the Marsimikla Pass. Within the Changchenmo sector, a road running parallel to the LAC leads to the upper reaches of the valley. For its entire duration, the whole road is under the direct observation of the Chinese side and under 5 kilometers from the LAC, which runs along the ridge line. So you can see the Indian road access as it passes through the Marsimikla area is hardly 5 kilometers from the LAC. There are passes on the LAC through which Chinese can develop thrust to interdict the road. On the map, you can make out Kiula and Dalachang Shanku. And the road is also vulnerable to interdiction through direct and indirect fire from the Chinese side. I mean, the Chinese don't need to physically come and occupy this road. They can sight their troops on the ridgeline and interdict any Indian movement on this road. Plus, it will also come under artillery fire from depth within the Chinese side of the LAC. This is the Indian road as it passes through the Kugrang River Valley. So, as you can see, the confluence of the Changlung River and Kugrang River Valley is, under 5 kilometers from the LAC. This is your confluence, and this is the distance from the LAC. Similarly, the rest of the Kugrang River Valley and the Indian road towards the Galwan River is also under 5 kilometers from the LAC. So any movement happening towards the upper reaches of Kugrang River Valley along this road will be under the observation of the Chinese and susceptible to interdiction from their side. So given the geographical realities, let us look at the Indian options in this particular sector. So, so basically, what the Indians can, so what you can make out from these geographical challenges is that Changchenmo is a difficult sector for the Indian Army. India can either turn the sector into a fortress to prevent major Chinese ingress or use it as a firm base for offensive action. Something like we have done in the Shakargarh Bulge along the Indo-Pak border. So here you can see the map of the Indo-Pak border where you can make out Gurdaspur, Pathankot and Jammu on our side. And you can see the road connecting these vital nodes runs close to the international border. And so basically what we do is we go on offensive in this sector to widen the gap from the Pakistan side towards the Indian lines of communication. So offense, as they say, is the best form of defense. So this is one option, same strategy that we can use in the Changchenmo sector. Now, coming to the sector linkages, here we will discuss how Changchenmo sector is actually linked, with the two other sectors in this particular area. So, to understand the Indian options in this sector, we need to understand the linkage of Changchenmo sector with other adjoining sectors. From Indian perspective, Changchenmo can serve as a base to outflank Chinese positions in the Galwan River sector, as well as Fingers area and Khurnak Fort, and also launch an assault east towards Lanakla Pass to throw the Chinese off guard and basically ensure that they do not come in the opposite direction towards us. So the three main linkages in this sector are as follows. From north to south, these are: you have the Galwan River Valley, the upper reaches of Galwan River Valley, which is linked to upper reaches of the Kugrang River Valley. Then you have the Changlung River Valley, from where the Changlung River comes and meets the Kugrang River just before Gogra Post. And then, of course, you have the Fingers area and the Khurnak Fort area, which is linked to the Changchenmo sector. We will be looking at each of these options in details in subsequent slides. So to begin with, we have the Galwan River Valley. The satellite image in front of you shows the linkage of upper reaches of Galwan Valley with the side valley coming from the Kugrang River Valley. Road from the Indian side of LAC leads to road on the Chinese side towards the Galwan River Valley. For most of its length, the Galwan River flows through a narrow gorge. The widest part of the Galwan River Valley lies about 50 kilometers east of Petrol Point 14 in the upper reaches of the valley. This is where the Chinese had placed bulk of their troops, equipment and supporting infrastructure for the action that took place at PP-14. Here you can see the Galwan River passing through a very narrow gorge. So Chinese don't have much real estate available for maneuver or to position their troops and accompanying equipment. And because the mountain ridges on either side of this gorge are pretty steep, the road can be blocked through a man-made landslide. This is the rare area of the Galwan River, which where the river valley is at its widest. This is about 50 kilometers east of PP-14, where the Indian and the Chinese troops had clashed. And it forms a firm base for the Chinese troops in the Galwan and the Kungurang River sector. So here is a slightly more close-up image of the Chinese troops and infrastructure in upper reaches of the Galwan River. You can make out the tents and the equipments and the dugouts. And this image is from a time after some bit of disengagement had already happened. So what are the Indian offensive options? So the upper reach of the Galwan River Valley lies directly north of the upper reaches of the Kugrang River Valley. A successful offensive by India from Kugrang River Valley side has the potential to reclaim the entire Galwan River Valley. Further, when combined with the simultaneous offensive from Shayok side, we can cut off and bottle Chinese troops in the entire Galwan Valley towards LAC. And further, using the Galwan River Valley as a base, we can mount further offensive towards east in the direction of Aksai Chin Plateau. So now this gives you an idea why the Chinese are very sensitive when it comes to this part of the sector. Second offensive option that we have is towards the Changlung River Valley. Now, this actually is not exactly an option, it is more of a compulsion. Because if India decides to go on offensive in the Changchenmo sector, it will have to go on offensive along the Changlung River. Because if it does not, the Chinese can advance west from the river and they can achieve multiple objectives. So we have to go towards this direction. Otherwise, you will have the Chinese coming down and going north up the Kugrang River Valley, which will basically isolate Indian troops from rear. Or one more prong will go towards south, towards the main Changchenmo River Valley, and outflank the Indian defenses in this sector. So it is important that we bottle up the Chinese and do not allow them to advance down this axis towards the Kugrang River. The third linkage that we have in this sector is that of the Fingers area and Khurnak Fort. So a fact that is overlooked while discussing the Changchenmo sector is its linkage with the Fingers area and Khurnak Fort. Look at the satellite image. There are three possible axes of advance in this sector. First is opposite the Gogra post of the ITBP. A road on the Chinese side of LAC goes south towards Dambuguru and further connects with Khurnak Fort. In addition to this, there are a couple of mountain passes on the LAC which provide a sort of backdoor entry to the Fingers area and Khurnak Fort. These are Kiula and Anila. Access from these passes converges at Dambuguru, the two blue lines that you can see coming from these passes, towards point number 2. From here, the road goes south towards Khurnak Fort and eastern bank of Pangongso Lake along the Changlung Lungpa River. Any advance and success of Indian offensive in this sector has the potential to completely isolate and overwhelm the Chinese positions along the eastern bank of the Pangongso Lake. So this is a satellite map which shows the linkage of Changchenmo sector with the Fingers area. You have the Chinese road coming south opposite from opposite Gogra post towards Dambuguru, and you also have roads coming from the Kiula and Anila pass, again converging on Dambuguru. From Dambuguru south, we have the road coming towards Khurnak Fort along the Changlung Lungpa River. Uh, and you can also make out the position of finger 4 and the finger 8 area. In terms of the Indian options, to start with, you will have a simultaneous assault going east towards Lanakla Pass and uh, blocking the Chinese along the Changlung River. Then an offensive going south along the Chinese road and converging on Dambuguru. In parallel with the attacks across Kiula and Anila, again both converging on Dambuguru, and from there going south towards the Khurnak Fort area. So you can see that Indians can actually arrive towards the rear of the entire Chinese position in the Pangongso sector, its northern bank, coupled with the pressure from the Finger 4 area towards Finger 8, Shirijap and the Khurnak Fort area. So this is the sum total of the Indian option in this sector. Now let us see what are the Chinese options in these sectors. So China will have three major aims in this sector. One is capture the entire Changchenmo River Valley, use it as a firm base to outflank our defenses in the Finger area and North Pangongso sector. From North Pangongso sector, using it as a firm base, threaten our nodes in Tangse and Darbuk. And if they cannot achieve this, they will at least straighten their claim line in the Changchenmo sector and make it run along the highest ridge line. So let's see what are possible Chinese actions. So we are likely to witness all these actions, uh, simultaneously. So first is the offensive towards north bank of the Kugrang River Valley. This will remove any Indian threat to upper reaches of their position in the Galwan River Valley. China will build an offensive in a southeast direction along the Kugrang River Valley towards the hot springs and Gogra Post. Simultaneously, you will have an attack due west from the Changlung River Valley. From here, one prong will turn north, and the Indian troops in the Kugrang River Valley will be caught between a pincer movement from north and south, and another prong will turn south towards the actual Changchenmo River Valley and attack Indian troops there from their flanks. From here, simultaneous to this, you will have, likely a major armored and armored thrust accompanied by infantry fighting vehicles from the place where the Changchenmo River enters India, because the valley is widest at this area. This offensive will marry with the offensive coming from the Kugrang River Valley and aim to take Indian position at Soksalu, thereby gaining the complete control of the Changchenmo River Valley. From here, you can expect an offensive to continue south along our road towards Marsimikla Pass. In the Marsimikla area, what you're likely to witness is something like this: an attack from Kiula side towards the Marsimikla Pass. This will join the offensive coming from the Changchenmo River Valley. And once the road is interdicted, any Indian presence in the Changchenmo River Valley will be cut off from rest of Ladakh. The Chinese can then build an offensive towards Phovrang and Lukung on the northern bank of the Pengongso Lake. If Phovrang falls, then we will lose road access to the Fingers area. In parallel to this, you will see an offensive from the Anila Pass, uh, and you can expect them to develop a pincer towards Phovrang and another prong to go towards the rear area of our positions in the finger 1 to finger 4 area. Again, using Phovrang and Lukung as a firm base, the Chinese can develop a threat towards Tangse and Darbuk, both of which are major Indian Army nodes. And Darbuk is, of course, the starting point of our DSDBO road. So, if effectively you are cutting the access to DBO also, if you take this particular part of the geography. And from here, they can also launch an attack south towards the rear area of Chushul through a road which passes between the Pangong range and the Ladakh range. So this is an overall summary of probable Chinese action in the Changchenmo and adjoining Pengongso sector. You can which visualizes their the simultaneous course of action. So in conclusion, the Chinese have chosen Changchenmo hot springs and Gogra sector because the geography here is advantageous to them. They can build on success in this sector to put pressure on the Indian defenses in the entire Changchenmo sector and geographically contiguous Pangongso sector. On the contrary, any Indian success in this sector will threaten Chinese position in the Galwan Valley and envelop their defenses in the Khornak Fort and the Fingers area. Thank you for watching the perspective. I hope you like this episode. Please do subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Again, thank you very much.